Community Television presents Bella Vista and Beyond. Today our hosts are Mike Cleary and Damon Wallace, and we will be talking about Bella Vista Recycling and the Toastmasters. And now to the studio for our program.
Okay, welcome to Bella Vista and Beyond. I'm Damon Wallace here with my co-host Mike Cleary.
And here it is, June 10th already. Where is the year gone?
Most of it's been locked up inside.
Yeah, well, I've been doing quite a lot of projects around the house.
That's what I've heard.
This self-imposed lockdown and quarantine has made my to-do list even longer.
It was, your wife misunderstood when it said quarantined. It didn't mean sit there and watch some TV and stuff. She said, ooh, I got to use this time to get him out to work.
That's right. Moving furniture is my aerobic workout now, and painting and cleaning. I think I've done more around the house in the last 6 weeks than I have in the last 6 years.
Well, you know, Home Depot and Lowe's have both been reporting record numbers of sales because everybody's staying home. So they're like, oh, well, I need to clean that, or I need to replace this.
Yeah,
So,
well, unfortunately, a lot of places are closed, so we can't do our karaoke Duns and Brook duet.
we were gonna. So the thing was, we were planning on doing a karaoke thing one night and doing some filming of it so we could present it to our viewers. And I think it would have been great. It would have been a hilarious.
Yeah, the B-roll. Isn't that what they call it? The gag roll?
Well, you know, I think we would have had people actually paying us money.
Yeah.
Yeah, we would have got a contract somewhere. Now, it may have been locked up. They may have committed us after that.
Yeah, or banned us. I think that might be more appropriate.
Oh, but anyway, other than that, we have some, a lot of the restaurants and stuff are starting to reopen again, and I'm glad for that.
Yep. I'm getting kind of tired of the takeout thing. Now you can actually go inside the buildings, which is really nice.
That was always my thing. I enjoy just kind of sitting there and having someone wait on me. You know, get some extra water, or I usually drink water with my meals, or at least if you're going to do a soda, you know, you can have somebody bring it. You can sit there and have good conversation.
Yeah.
Rather than just taking it home. But yeah, I'm the same way.
Yeah, instead of the driveway or the backyard gatherings, you can actually meet somewhere.
That's it. Well, we'll go ahead and get into our show today. Our first guest is Mr. Paul Poulides, and he is the president of the Bella Vista Recycling Center. So, Paul, good to have you with us today.
Thank you, Damon.
And so, tell us a little bit about the history of the Bella Vista Recycling.
Well, it started about 45 years ago because AARP chapter was looking for a way to pay for their coffee and donuts during their meetings. Very small chapter. So the volunteers went out, picked up newspaper from the neighbors, put string around it, sold it, and that's how it started. And it stayed under the umbrella of AARP for many years till about 4 or 5 years ago when AARP in Bella Vista, the chapter, was suspended. So we are now a private organization. We still do recycling. We don't tie it by hand anymore, but we do the same basic thing. We keep it out of landfill, we sell it, and we donate money to the charities.
And you've been doing it for quite a while now. How many years?
14 years now. Yeah, 14 years, which my wife is real happy about because she's the one that started me.
So you can blame it on her.
I can blame it. She said, honey, we need to do recycling. And I said, I'm a corporate guy from Houston. I don't need to do that. And she said, I'll do all the work. Well, I've never seen her down there in 14 years. So,
anyway. she kind of strapped you into it. So.
I love it. I really do, or I wouldn't do it.
So what are some of the big things so the recycling centers, obviously people can drop things off. What do you do with those items?
Everything that comes in, we sort it if it's not already properly sorted, which sometimes it's not. We run it through conveyors and balers to get enough to make a bale. We make a bale, we wire the bale up so we can ship it. We weigh it, store it in our warehouse till we have enough to load a semi. Semi holds 44,000 pounds. So when we get enough, we call our broker. The broker arranges a delivery, sends a semi, and we sell the product. Money comes back for maintenance, operation, expenses, and whatever's left over all goes to Northwest Arkansas nonprofits and charities.
Okay. And now the recycling center used to work with 100% volunteers, but that's changed a little bit over the years, hasn't it?
It did. When we were 100% volunteers, no payroll, we were donating over $200,000 a year. Some years were $250,000. But as volunteerism fell, we've had to start hiring people, and we now have 4 full-time people, 1 part-time. We still have about 6 or 8 volunteers, and that's been the change. Is salaries went up, volunteerism went down, but we're still operating. We're still making enough to donate a little bit anyway. We are a 501c3 nonprofit.
Okay. And so in this, so we've had this kind of time of a lot of businesses shutting down for a period, but the Bella Vista Recycling Center still kept going 100% strong, didn't they?
It did. We were concerned about the virus. We took a vote of all our paid employees, the 5 of them total, and our volunteers, and to my surprise, they all voted to stay open. They like what they're doing, and they kind of believe, they don't kind of believe, they really believe in what they're doing is beneficial to the environment by keeping it out of landfills.
And Mayor Peter Christie even gave y'all a citation recognizing the efforts of the volunteers.
He did. He came down mid-May. We gathered everybody together, and he read a proclamation, hung around for a while, and really congratulated us because a lot of recycling centers had shut down.
And now cardboard, a lot of people think about recycling, they think about paper, they think about glass, they think about aluminum cans. Cardboard is one of those that sometimes flies under the radar a little bit, but that's that's one of the biggest parts of your business, isn't it?
It definitely is. We're fortunate to be in Walmart country, so we have a lot of Walmart vendors who have a lot of cardboard, and what we do is we send our trucks and trailers out, pick up their cardboard, keeps them from putting it in a dumpster, which of course goes into landfills, but it also keeps them from having to pay a dumpster fee. So over half our volume and half our dollars are from cardboard, and the rest is from the other products we take. The problem,
but then cardboard actually though lately has kind of taken a hit on the price that they're paying for that cardboard. Tell us about that a little bit.
Very big hit. August of last year, we were getting $240 a ton for the cardboard we shipped. It went down to as low as $40 a ton just a few months ago and stayed that way for 6 or 7 months. It's now rebounded a little bit to about, I think we're at about 100 or 110 a ton. We still got a ways, and that makes it tough to meet expenses. But we're still there, still doing it.
Yeah, and there's some grants that you get for additional funding some years, right?
The only outside funding we get is a state does a grant to the various counties, and the county sends it out. Benton County ships out them. You make an application, ships it to the various recycling entities in the county. We apply for it. Sometimes we get nothing. Sometimes we might get 15, 20,000. This year it's just coming up, so we'll see what happens. But that's the only outside funding we get.
Okay, and so it is a 501c3. So the money that you do get, you give it away to other charities. How much money does that account for every year?
Well, it's gone from a high many years ago when it was all volunteers of, I think the best we ever did was $275,000 in 1 month. And then it slowly dwindled as volunteerism went down. But we're still, I think this last year, because of the cardboard price drop, we only were able to donate about $15,000 or $20,000.
Okay.
So it drops.
But these nonprofits, they really rely on that, even if it's a small amount, don't they?
They do, and we rely on it being another nonprofit. But yes, that's true.
Exactly. So summing up now, what are the hours of the Bella Vista Recycling Center, and what can people bring?
We are open 6 days a week, no Sundays. We are staffed. There's always somebody there to help, to explain or whatever. Every day, those 6 days from 7 in the morning till 3 or 2:30 in the afternoon. Sunday we're closed and we bar the gates. We welcome people to come in. We give them tours if they'd like. The products we take are all paper products, of course cardboard being a big one, all glass, plastic bottles, it has to be bottles, and steel and aluminum cans, and even textiles. We also collect books and magazines for the VA hospital. There's a drop-off box there. Okay. So any of that.
Well, that's a lot of good information. And Paul, I appreciate you being on the show with us today. A lot of good information there. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
I go there probably every week or every other week, and I recently discovered that you can bring those sensitive documents that you need to have shredded. They shred those as well.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah. So
like all the pictures and stuff from your high school years?
Yes, the yearbooks. Yeah, okay. anything I want destroyed, make sure there's no evidence anywhere. You can take it down there and they'll shred it for you. So that's an important service, especially to the public.
Yes. Do they charge for that?
No.
Really?
No.
Wow, that is good to know. So good. Well, I think we're going to take a break and we'll be back.
Welcome back. Here are our hosts, Mike and Damon.
Welcome back to Bella Vista and Beyond. And we appreciate you watching Bella Vista Community Television. And we'd like to have a big thanks to all of our volunteers who make this show and all of our other shows possible. We'd like to have also a big thank to our 3 new volunteers in this show today, helping with the camera and in the studio. We appreciate everybody helping out.
Yeah, 3 new ones. That's great.
That's right. So if you want to volunteer at Bella Vista Community Television, just contact us and I guarantee we'll find something for you to do. You can find your names in the credits at the end of the show. That right. Alone is worth all the effort.
It's worth it, and hey, I was just noticing though, during all this lockdown thing, you didn't let your beard grow down to where you could do a little goatee type thing
or something like that.
Yeah.
No, my hair's getting longer again. I cut my hair last year and now
last year.
It grows very slow.
Okay.
That's right.
So, Bill, you got an interesting guest today.
Yes. If the thought of speaking in front of an audience intimidates or downright terrifies you, well, you're not alone. But there is an organization that's been around for about 100 years, and that may be able to help. Here is my guest to talk about Toastmasters International, Carrie Perrien-Smith. Welcome, Carrie, to Bella Vista and Beyond. Appreciate you being here.
Well, thank you. I feel like I should applaud after you've introduced me. That's what we do in Toastmasters. We applaud a lot.
Tell me a little about Toastmasters. How does a typical Toastmasters meeting proceed?
Well, Toastmasters is an international organization with clubs all over the world. And so every club will have a little bit different culture depending on who's in it and where they are. There are corporate clubs and public clubs. But a typical meeting, we have speakers, we have evaluations for speakers, and we have table topics where we practice impromptu speaking. There are people who lead the meeting because it's so important to understand how to lead a meeting. And we have a lot of fun. Now we see with our meetings we're doing themes. We have a word of the day where we practice using the word of the day. We practice all of the different elements of being a good communicator. So whether you're prepared or you're having to speak impromptu at a moment's notice, you're able to manage all the butterflies and all of the things that need to come out of your mouth and your head. Most of the time it works pretty good, but it gives us a chance to always be ready when we have a chance to make a difference in our community, in our workplace, or even in our family.
You talked about the speeches and the evaluations. So how does that work?
Okay, so typical speeches in a Toastmasters club are 5 to 7 minutes. And evaluation is 2 to 3. And the person who is scheduled to give their speech will have an assignment that they're working toward. And it will have criteria that may work on different elements of how to deliver that speech or how to organize that speech. And so it will be a topic of their choosing, but they'll have particular elements that they will be working toward being able to do more effectively. And the evaluation then, they have criteria that they are evaluating. How well did they meet the criteria of that particular assignment? So the idea of evaluation is to give a loving bit of feedback that will encourage them to keep trying. And probably the most important thing that Toastmasters does is get people involved in giving their first speech right away. Because once they jump in, it's much easier for them to take that commitment and take that risk. And because that first speech tells them whether they're safe or not, right? And there's safe environment to fail and experiment.
That's right. Well, with the speeches, you give the speech and the evaluations are to encourage you to go on further, not to knock you down, but to find the things that you did well and to focus on them and then sort of diminish the things that you need to improve upon. They don't really slam you, they just give you more encouragement.
Right. I think one of the things that people, and this is a great lesson for everybody, one of the things that they like to tell us is to do an Oreo cookie evaluation. Here's what I saw that I really liked. Here's what I see that you can improve upon. And here's something that I think helped you finish that speech strong or be more effective. So they're starting positive. Here's something that I'd like to see you improve or encourage you to improve, and then finish positive. And I mean, it sounds so simple, but that is a great lesson for life. How many times do we have a bit of feedback with our children or with somebody who works for us, and we aren't necessarily packaging that feedback in a way that they can receive it. And so I think one of the most powerful things we learn in Toastmasters is how to package feedback.
Also, this isn't like a classroom environment. These are all the members of the club are participating, and they've been in the same boat that you have been in. So they're the ones that are actually putting on the meeting, and so you're with a bunch of peers. You're not being taught anything in the club.
Yeah, I tell you, the people that walk through the door of a Toastmasters club really vary, and every club kind of has its own mix of individuals and thoughts and ideas. And I have learned so much from the people who walk through our doors. We have a lady in our club currently from Russia. We have another lady from China. We have another lady that's had an amazing group of experiences and traveled all over the world. And so they bring those stories and perspectives to us. And we try to create a safe place where they can share those, because in that safe place in that meeting, it gives them the chance to practice, and so that they can take those ideas and those experiences to other places where they need to communicate.
You're saying that these speeches that you give have a purpose or a objective to make. So basically, you're not just thrown in. You're told this speech has this purpose and this speech has that purpose.
Yeah, there are key learnings. I mean, because it's a learning club. It's a professional development or personal development tool for folks. And so an assignment may include working on gestures or working on vocal variety. And there will be a focus so you can really dig in. Now, as you advance through the educational tracks, you're challenged to work on different areas. And we have a new Pathways program that is completely fueled online, and you can go in and look at your past assignments. And where we used to have print manuals, we no longer have print manuals. Our assignments are online. And we're able to have a variety of tracks depending on where we're trying to develop our skills for. I mean, some people come to Toastmasters and they're there for a season, trying to get that next level in for their professional pursuits, and then they're gone. So that's why the Toastmasters membership can sometimes look like a revolving door. People come in and get what they want. There are people who stay for 15 years, like myself. The Bernsteins are in my club as well, Judith and David, and they've been in Toastmasters over 30 years. those people stay because they want to pour into other people and they want to help them develop, and they have been incredible. So it really depends what people walk in that door for, but the key leaders in that club really care about where that individual member is going and what their desire for their pursuit is.
Not only are people go to join the club for speaking improvement, but also there's a leadership track as well. If you wanted to be better at organizing a committee, or if you're into management, so you have leadership as well as speaking.
Exactly. The educational pursuit and goal in Toastmasters for most members is the Distinguished Toastmaster designation. And that means you have fulfilled all the requirements in the educational tracks and that you have earned that designation. I earned my first one in 2011. I am finishing up a second one. Larry Hogue is a member in Fayetteville, and he is finishing, I believe he has finished his fifth one or sixth one. He had 5, and I believe he just finished a 6th. So he is out there giving speeches, and I mean, and he's a guy who, you know, worked with NASA. I mean, the stories that he brings and the leadership perspective that he brings, but he stays because he believes that it's important that we develop new communicators in our community.
Mm-hmm. It's not all difficulty to put on speeches. Sometimes they do have fun, right? They
Goodness,
have
yes.
these club contests. Not only compete against your own club, but other clubs in the area as well.
Right, right. So in the spring and the fall, we have a series of speech contests. Northwest Arkansas has, we are an area of ourselves, so our clubs report up to an area, and then our areas report up to a division, which is Division F, and that's all of Northwest Arkansas. And then we report up to the district level, which stretches from Northwest Arkansas to Mississippi. It's a big district. And we do speech contests to prepare to compete at each of those levels. In the spring, we do the evaluation contest where you evaluate a speech and compete against other evaluators. And then the international speech competition, where the contestants for that will roll up to a contest that will name the world champion of public speaking and competing against speakers from all around the world. It's an amazing experience. That is the only contest that rolls up past the district level. Mm-hmm. But in the fall, we will have a humorous speech contest, and we will also have a table topics. Yes. So you'll get a topic, and everybody will speak on the same topic and compete against each other in that. The humorous speech contest is so fun. Sometimes they're funny, and sometimes they're funny in a different way. Humor is one of the most important things that we can bring to a speech, and it is, I would challenge you, the most challenging piece of speaking, because not everybody has that natural timing and is funny. And I mean, there's a lot of different ways to be funny in your speech that help you communicate your message.
You said about the most difficult thing is talking off the cuff sometimes, and that's what you call table topics. Now,
right.
How does table topics work in a typical meeting?
At table topics, you're given a chance to speak for 1 or 2 minutes. And the whole idea is just to get up there and get a topic. Now, some people will take that topic and they don't know what to speak on, and so it's okay to pivot and speak on what you want to speak on. But I think it's always really good to practice speaking on something and being able to tie that topic together. But it basically is that impromptu speaking. Now, you may get a topic out of a deck of table topics cards. Some of our table topics masters, who that's what we call our Toastmaster for that segment, the table topic master, they will come up with something that relates to the theme. I mean, one of my favorite things is to give them a sound, and they have to speak about something related to that sound, either incorporating it or what happened that you would have made that sound. Some of them do such a great job. I mean, the whole idea with Toastmasters is to learn how to, for this segment, I think for the Table Topic Master, is to be creative, but also learn how to ask that question to get the answer that you need. So don't give them a novella for table topics. You want to give them, 7 to 10 words. And that's an important lesson, I think, for all of us as well. Ask the right question in the right way.
There's a number of clubs in the Northwest Arkansas area, you said. How can people get in contact with to find out a little bit more about Toastmasters?
Well, the easiest thing is to go to the Toastmasters.org website. You can click on the Find a Club link, and then it'll ask you for your zip code. You'll see a list of clubs that are available to you in Northwest Arkansas. There are public clubs and restricted clubs. A restricted club is a corporate club where they require that you work for that company or maybe in that department to be in that club. Now, I will tell you right now, since all of our meetings went online in March, and we will have a chance probably to do online meetings as a requirement of Toastmasters through August, you can attend, I believe, all of these meetings by Zoom. And so for people who are familiar with online meetings, Zoom is pretty much become our tool for connecting with our communities. But for those who are not, you can connect either by phone, you can connect from your desktop or your computer or your iPad, and you'll get a link. And we now have passwords because there are Zoom bombers that will get into your meeting and cause mayhem. So Zoom has been a great online meeting application, but they've been learning through COVID, as the rest of us have, and have given us some new functionality where we can boot a Zoom bomber. I've not been in a meeting that had that yet, but anyway, so that's why we have passwords. But so it's good to connect on the website with the contact and find out how you get into that meeting, and so you can come, and they're going to ask you what you thought about the meeting after you've had a chance to sit through it. They want to engage the people who are guests, and guests are always welcome. So again, go to the Toastmasters.org website, click on the Find a Club link, connect to the club that you think might be best for you, that you'd like to check out, and check them all out. I mean, it's kind of like any other organization. Each one has its own culture and their own practices. And you want to find one that fits for your schedule, but one that also fits your life.
Well, appreciate, Carrie, you being here talking about Toastmasters this morning at Bella Vista and Beyond. And it's an opportunity to speak in front of an audience and not feel intimidated.
That's right. You know, I went to a Toastmasters meeting one time. I was invited. I didn't eat breakfast that morning, and I showed up with white wheat, rye, marble, and some pumpernickel, and I found out it was not that kind of Toastmasters.
Oh.
You know, I was so...
You were ready to toast.
I was ready to toast, but it was a different kind. So anyway, yeah, good show today.
Yes.
And I think we're at the end of our little segment here, so we want to thank everyone for joining us, and we do want to invite you, if you do have any interest in volunteering, we would love to have you here working cameras, working behind, working the sound, the graphics, and even being hosts. And so
that's right.
We can even create a new show on the fly.
You could.
So that takes a little more work. But anyway, we're so glad to have all of you here.
Thank you for joining us at Bella Vista and Beyond, and for watching Bella Vista Community Television.
Remember, you can see this program on Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at various times. This program may also be seen on YouTube.com by going to Bella Vista TV. This has been a presentation of Bella Vista Community Television. Thank you for joining us.